Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, what's going on, Boise State fans? Happy Monday morning to you. BJ Rains here, Bronco Nation News. BroncoNationNews.com, another weekly start to our week with John Mallory, KTIK Radio 95.3 The Ticket. Johnny, how we doing today, man?
Good Monday. Man, what a crazy weekend. I love these football weekends, man. Tough to keep up with sometimes, because there's so much going on. All those comebacks yesterday in the NFL, crazy, and then college football. Just, I'm loving that late night window. I don't know about you, BJ, but I went home late Saturday. You did as well. And there were still games on. It's crazy. It's a lot of fun. It's a great time of year, and luckily Boise State. There's a lot to talk about with this program, too. So lots flying around here, no question.
I didn't mind the 2 o'clock start for that simple reason. I was able to kind of take my time after the game, enjoyed after the game a little bit over at the James after our show, and then was still home, and there was games just starting at 8 o'clock or whatever. It was perfect. I really liked it. Hey, I know you'd probably this guy's probably right up your alley. He says he's in class right now, but listening on his earphones. What do you think?
Good for him, man. Yeah, I used to play I was a poker geek. When I was in college, I was like kind of the early 2000s poker boom in this country. I remember sitting in class a lot of times in my laptop playing poker. Oh gosh.
Well, we appreciate you. We don't recommend missing, not paying attention in class and getting in trouble listening to us. We do have a podcast version of this where you can go back and watch the video afterwards, after class, Jacob. But we do appreciate you for doing that. Jordan says, what an awesome weekend. Beautiful weather for the tailgating, the game. Agreed on late night college football. I went 4-1, by the way, Johnny, in my NFL pick'em spread this week. So,
man,
4-1, 4-1 week. I hate to admit that one of my picks was the 49ers. So I was happy with that result.
I say this a lot every year, and I can't stop it, but I don't know why I continue to bet the NFL. It's really, really hard. My biggest bet was the Bengals -7. I thought this was the easiest, peasiest cover of the week. Bengals mad coming off week 1. The Cowboys in shambles schematically and from a personnel standpoint, and they played terrific. Kellen Moore shut a lot of people up, BJ, but I lose my tail on the NFL. So
that's why you make the money back by doing these BNN segments each week to help fund your gambling.
It does help.
We appreciate you as always, Johnny, for coming on. We appreciate everybody for coming on. We appreciate all of our sponsors. Of course, we're broadcasting from the Cutwater Canned Cocktail Studios. Having a lot of fun. Saturday was fun. We were over at the James post-game show with Coach Riddle. We saw you over there, Johnny, briefly on your way out of town. Back to your home in Meridian there. But we had a lot of fun, man. A lot of people stopped by. John Schneider stopped by, the Seahawks GM over there at the James. I saw Alex Guerrero. I think Scott Matlock even stopped by. There was a lot of dignitaries, so to speak, over at the James. You never know who you're going to see over there. So I apologize. I know there was I heard from 7 or 8 people that had come to the James just for our show because of the concerns about the weather, we had to move it inside, and that kind of screwed things up. So we apologize for that, but we'll be back out on the patio next home game, which will be a week from Friday. We got the UTEP game on Friday, Johnny, and that's going to be an interesting one because Boise State, again, a 2+ touchdown favorite. I think very similar to the UT Martin game. Fans aren't just wanting a win. They're wanting a big win. They're wanting the offense to get going again. And so it's going to be a very similar spot where it's kind of a no-win situation for Boise State, at least from the fan perspective, this Friday. But let's go back, man. My first chance to ask you about that UTEP game. We got record crowd for a John Mallory Monday appearance here watching right now. So I don't know why, but folks are fired up to want to jump on here and listen to your thoughts on this. What do you make of the UTEP win, the lack of offense, all that good stuff? UT Martin, what did I say?
UTEP.
Oh, UTEP's on
That's
Friday.
this week.
Yeah,
That's
UT Martin was last week. What do you make? I know game night with you and Prater after the game was blowing up with people wanting Plow fired and Bachmeier benched and everything else. Where are you at on the state of the Boise State offense right now?
The state of the Boise State offense, I just think it needs to continue to get better. It hasn't been good enough. I know they won 30-7. That should have been 60-7. I think good offensive football would have had 50, 60 points on that. And they sputtered. Like, they got off to a great start. That first drive I thought was absolutely terrific. Hank on the rollout, hitting static in the back of the end zone. And you saw a lot of that with Hank, a lot of bootleg. I have not seen him bootleg like that. Certainly not in the previous 2 games. I thought that was the design. Tim Plow, let's get Hank out of the pocket. Maybe he'll be more effective on the run. He hit some. He missed some. He missed some easy plays, too. A lot of quarterbacks do, obviously. But, that's kind of been a pattern with Hank, missing some throws here and there. Offense just should have been better. The offensive line, I know that's the scapegoat this week. It's the line, what's going on here. We're going to hear a lot of the Tim Keene stuff there, BJ. I don't think they've been as physical. I don't think they've been as nasty as I think this fan base wants from that offensive line. George Alani on paper had a terrific game. That was really refreshing to see, I think, for not only the coaches, but also the fan base. Have kind of a classic Alani game where he's going over 100. He's catching balls as well. George Alani is one of the few players in the country right now that leads his team in rushing and receiving. So they are stamping U.S. mail on his butt and writing that guy. And right now, that is their best option. I thought we would see more from Genty. I thought that might have been a conscious decision. No, let's let George go. Let's get him as comfortable as we can in this thing because we are going to need him moving forward. A lot of work needs to be done. I think it will be done. I think the staff is dedicated to the process and getting better. And fortunately for Boise State, I think UTEP is going to do everything it can in its power to allow Boise State to get a hell of a lot better this week. UTEP.
I said
BJ, real quick, I didn't think I'd see a team at the FBS level as poor as New Mexico. I really didn't. And then here comes UTEP. They made New Mexico look good. What they have, 7 turnovers, UTEP? I think, was it 7?
That vaunted New Mexico defense, man.
Rocky Long. Oh, my God. He's the greatest thing that's ever happened to college football defense, Rocky Long.
I'm telling you, dude, I hate to provide gambling advice. I will never personally, obviously for ethical reasons, bet on a Boise State game myself. But if you're looking at this line, man, it came out at like 16 points again. I cannot imagine Boise State not winning this game on Friday by 16 points.
I agree. I like that bet as well.
I would be all over Boise State if I was a Boise State fan or had money to bet on this game. That just seems really – I get it, but I think there's a little bit of overreaction to maybe not blowing out UT Martin. But UTEP looks terrible, and I still think there's more in the tank for Boise State, man. I know a lot of fans are ready to give up on Plow, give up on Bachmeier, but I feel like they're close, man. If you can get the O-line figured out a little bit. We started to see some shovel passes and some new things in the offense last game. I'm not ready to give up on this offense or this season here, man. I really do think there's more in the tank, personally. I think they're close.
I don't know, man. I don't know where I am on that right now. I would be very, very frustrated because I feel like it's now turning into a broken record where we're just saying it every week. It's getting better, or hey, the opponent this week will help, or hey, this guy's coming back from an injury.
This is the last week we're going to be able to say that, by the way.
I
think
think
you got
so,
San
right,
Diego
BJ?
State and Fresno coming
At
up.
one of these times, they're just not going to be able to sell that anymore, if they can still even sell it. And right now, that is on clearance next to deodorant that's been there for 7 years. BJ, it's not going to be much longer. I'll tell you that. And this offense, this scheme is not going to get next year, in my opinion, with the way it's going right now. But luckily for everybody involved, there is still time to fix it. Just how it's going to be fixed and when it's going to be fixed, that's the big we'll see right now with this program. And I think if you put a poll on BNN right now, I think it would be astronomically in the favor of whatever the negative option was, either firing Plow, Keene, O-line. Like, I don't think there's a lot of Bronco Nation, at least not on social media right now. And social media is an awful, grimy, disgusting, gross world.
It's been a rough couple
nasty,
of days
man.
on there.
But at least on that, like, there's not a lot of support. Now, maybe there is a lot of support outside of social media. But unfortunately, nobody really gets to hear that other than maybe at the water cooler at work.
What did you make? There was a lot of talk the last 2 days about the fans cheering when Taylon Green came into the game. I don't know if you guys got to that on your post-game show or not. I didn't get a chance to hear that part of it. Some diehard Boise State fans are trying to claim that it was, they were only cheering, happily for Hank. But you were in the press box, man. I was in the press box. The way it went down, I don't think you could infer it any other way than they were happy that Taylon Green was coming in the game and that Bachmeier was going out.
The timing was really poor. Unfortunately, it was bad timing. Like if you're up 30-7, whatever, if they would have just began a series and Taylon Green would have ran out there, it would have been, I guess, a better way to go about it. Obviously, than Hank having to leave on an injury. That was the rough part. And I don't know. I mean, fan is short for fanatic. Okay. And that was kind of at a boiling point for this fan base who's been at a boiling point with this team and this staff and this quarterback for years. And I thought a lot of that might have been built up frustration. I haven't heard a lot of people that were saying, I was booing Hank / cheering for Taylon. I just didn't like the timing, BJ, but I do. If someone's going to tell me their emotions and they're going to say, look, it had nothing to do with Hank. I just wanted Taylon on the field. And however had that happened, I would support. And that was a big point of contention there. And it's tough for Hank. He's been through a really tough time with this fan base and his family and stuff. And that was a crappy moment. JL Skinner, I saw retweeted your tweet on that. And Skinner was kind of getting after Bronco Nation on Twitter a little bit too. I'm sure we'll be talking about that today on Idaho Sports Talk, taking calls on that. It's one of those things where, some people are saying, hey, no, I wasn't, like you said, it had nothing to do with Hank. I just need to see.
Yeah, and I don't think people were legitimately cheering the injury. No one's that. That's not what happened. People were, politely clapping for Hank as he came off. They were happy he was okay. But just the roar of the crowd as Taylon Green took the field, I took it more as a little bit of a shot at Hank while also cheering for Taylon. Maybe that wasn't the intention. I will say this: it was mostly coming from the student section. I love the student section, but they were booing Hank Bachmeier earlier in the game when they showed him on the Jumbotron 2 different times. I heard some boos coming from the student section. I don't know, Johnny, if they were just having a little too much to drink and they're college kids and one guy cheers or boos, so they decide to jump in. I don't know what their true feelings were. I'm going to give them a little bit of a pass, I guess, and I'm going to take the side of I don't think they were trying to be personal towards Hank, but it was hard to not take it any other way with the way it all went down, man.
Sure, with you, man.
It really was.
With you.
I do want to play a quick quote from Kent Riddle from the post-game show, Johnny. He, on his own, brought this up. He was in the stands. Kent Riddle now helping us out at BNN, but he's not coaching this year, and his son is the holder, so he is now a fan with a parent's ticket sitting in the stands watching this game, and he wanted to bring this up on his own. This was his thoughts on the incident.
And, I got to say, I was a little disappointed when Hank got kind of banged up there at the end. And,
yes.
I think we're classier than that here as Broncos. And, whatever. If you like Hank, you like Taylon, that's all your prerogative. But as Broncos, whoever's out there on the field, I feel like we should support them.
Now, they didn't cheer when Hank got hurt, but as Hank went off, then it was the cheering for Talon. So obviously they're still taking a shot basically at Hank for Talon coming in. And I actually tweeted something about that, and JL Skinner retweeted me and said that basically, I don't know the exact words, but called out Bronco Nation for doing that. Dimitri Washington, a couple players on social media as well. They said it's not going to phase Hank. It doesn't matter. But that was a talking point after the game that the fans, mostly the students who may have been, drinking, whatever. But I mean, it started there, but it was a pretty loud cheers when Talon Green came into that game.
Yeah. And hey, like I said, I mean, I think we should support whoever's out there, but yeah, I mean, I just feel like that was a little bit of a shot at a guy that's out there giving everything he's got. And just thought it was uncalled for.
Uncalled for. Bronco fans are a little classier than that. Can you disagree with anything that Kent Riddle said there? Or
yeah, man, no, he's spot on. And if everybody in the stands knew as much about football as Kent Riddle does, you wouldn't have a lot of this stuff going on. But again, fan is short for fanatic, and this is an emotional fan base right now who admittedly has been spoiled. Okay. Like, we get a lot of that where some fans are like, hey, Boise State fan, you're so spoiled. You're so spoiled. And Boise State fans like, yeah, I know I am. So, okay, I know what I want. I know what I need. I know what my standards are. I know how this program, how we want this thing to go, and it's not going that way. So, damn right we're spoiled. Get us back to where we want to be happy and proud and excited about this football team right now. And I think that's kind of the battle that's going on, is trying to find yesteryear. Like Andy Avalos, he's not competing against UT Martin. In a sense, he's competing against Chris Peterson and Dan Hawkins and I guess Brian Harsin, right? Like Hank Bachmeier is not competing against the UT Martin defense. He's competing against Kellen Moore in a sense, where they want to get back. They want the meal to taste a certain way. And the chefs in the kitchen, whatever the case is, it's not being prepared the way that they're used to tasting it. So they're filling out the comment card, BJ. They're doing it on their Twitter account. They want this meal to taste like they're used to it tasting, and it's not right now. And it is unfortunate for people involved with this program trying to maintain the status quo. The standard is the standard around here, right? Yeah. And it's been harder in the last couple of years to get that going because maybe the coaches aren't as good as they've had in the past. Maybe it's the players. Maybe it's the league. Maybe whatever it is. That's where the fans are getting frustrated. And, you gave them an opportunity with Hank getting hurt. At least the moment gave the fans the opportunity with Hank getting hurt. Yep. Yeah. And some of them took it. And as Kent Riddle said, acted in an uncalled for manner.
And I really, the final thing until we move on this, I don't think it was any really malicious intent towards Hank. I really don't. I'm going to give most of the fans the benefit of the doubt. I think it was, hey, great, Talon's coming in the game. It just was bad timing, the perception of it, right? You're cheering loudly because, the only reason Talon was coming in was because Hank got hurt there. So, I mean, it was just hard to infer it any other way. But I do want to give the fans the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it just came off unintended the way it was, and that's, that's unfortunate. But Derek says it's Bronco Nation, the most unhappy 2-1 fan base in the country.
If there was a top 25 poll for unhappy fan bases that are 2-1 or better, BSU would probably be a top 10 team right now.
Rudy says Auburn might be there as well. They're 2-1 with their.
Oh, hell yeah! Auburn's ranked higher than Boise in that poll.
Maybe after the UTEP game, instead of going to St. Louis for the weekend, I should go to the down there to Auburn. Auburn's playing Missouri. Drinkwitz against Harsin on Saturday.
That's going to be juicy.
I should have planned that better.
It's a game too, BJ. Not that we can spend any time on it, but that's a game that both those coaches have to win.
Oh yeah,
Drink has to win it.
Oh, he's getting some criticism, and this is year 3 for him, year 2 for Harsin. But I still listen to St. Louis Sports Talk Radio on a daily basis, and there's a lot of questions with him as well. But hey, Brandon says being a fan doesn't give you a right to be toxic. Fan base is bordering on that currently. It is. You mentioned social media, Johnny. The team's 2-1. The first half, 250 yards of offense, 20 points. I came down to you at halftime, and I said, hey, they're on pace to score 40 points and have 500 yards. That'd be pretty good. And then I must have jinxed it because they did next to nothing the rest of the game. I think you can rightfully criticize what you saw in the second half. What do you make of just fans? A win's not good enough right now. They want to win by 30, 40 points. And you want to, I guess part of that is because you have tougher games coming up. So you want to have a better feeling that you have a chance in those games. You play like you did in that third quarter on offense, you probably have no chance to beat San Diego State or Fresno. But what do you make, I guess, big picture about the fans, the uneasiness with the offense, Tim Plow, Hank Bachmeier, all that stuff?
They could not care. They could just, I'll just say it. They could just not give a shit. Right. I like being able to say that. I can't say that at 3, BJ. Sorry. That's worse, right? When they drop into irrelevance, when people, instead of being mad at this team, say, I don't care. I'm not watching this team anymore. I have something else to do with my Saturday afternoon or evening. Like it could be that bad. That's the worst, when you're just irrelevant. They're still widely relevant, certainly in this town, and fans want to see this thing get back. They feel it slipping away, man. And that's where this passion comes from. Excuse me. And so I don't want to tell someone how to be with their emotions. And if they're being a jerk with their emotions, then this thing means that much to them, then Boise State football will turn them into an a-hole. I mean, get a life, okay, in my perspective. But hey, man, these are the same people that are listening to you and are watching you and listening to me, man. So I mean,
we need the fans. We love the fans. We're not coming on here to bash the fans. I just
care.
And I love it that they care. I just think it's an interesting dilemma when you score 30 points, you win the game, you're 2-1, and I don't know about your post game show, Johnny, but on my post game show, you would have thought they lost 30-7.
Sure, but yeah, BJ didn't. I know it was 30-7. But do I sound like a moron if I say, yeah, it was 37, but BJ, they still didn't look that good? Can I take that stance? Because that's the stance I have.
I agree. I guess my counter would be, if you're a fan, you only get 12 games in a season, guaranteed. Yeah. You wait all year for this. You get 12 games. You won the game. Enjoy it. Go to the James. Have some drinks. Worry about the offense not looking good in a game where they actually lose. You won the game. I don't know. I guess I've always never been the you have to look good doing it. The win means the same. I'm like that for Kansas football, for KU basketball. I don't care. You win. Who cares? I mean, maybe it's not the most fun game to watch if you're controlling the clock in the second half and running the ball and you're not scoring 60 points every game. But the ultimate goal for me as a fan is to see my team win. So if they win, they move on to the next game. You got the job accomplished. And maybe I sound too much like a football coach, when I say that. They accomplished the mission 1-0. But that's just how I've been. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong to be on the other side. I get it. You want to look good doing it, style points. You want to feel good about the team for future games coming up on the schedule that you have a chance. I get all that, and I'm not criticizing people that feel that way. Me personally, I just don't get as down as long as the team wins that I like to root for or watch. I don't care as much how it happened.
What about the storm coming? I think this fan base, part of the reason, even though they won the way they did, they're still upset. I think they see a bigger, nastier, darker, cloudier storm on the horizon. And whatever they're doing to beat UT Martin or UTEP maybe this week, whatever that preparation, there's a bigger storm coming. And what they're doing to cause this little sprinkler, it's just sprinkling out. Hey, the storm's going to get a lot worse quick. And you're not preparing for it as well. When that storm comes, stuff's hitting the fan, and then it's going to get really ugly. I think that might be kind of where they're coming from. And I'll just throw this in there. It's not the most exciting team I've seen Boise State have. I mean, I could almost say at times this team is boring. It's like a boring watch. And I think that bugs them a little bit too.
Yeah, no, I get that. I agree with you. I mean, I think that first drive, they came out 75, 80 yards, whatever it was.
All over it, man.
Looked great, mixing in the run, the pass, a couple nice misdirections. Got a lot of guys involved. And then you see the third quarter where it's, a couple of runs and a punt. So, I mean, it is it was the second half, I think, too, did leave a bad taste in a lot of fans' mouths. And even the first half, fans, 251 yards, and they were playing pretty well, and yet it wasn't good enough because they only had 20 points, and they had to settle for 2 field goals. So I get it, and like I said, that is probably part of the reason for the angst. They say, this ain't going to cut it against San Diego State. This ain't going to cut it against Fresno. We want to win a Mountain West title. We got to be a lot better than we played in this game. And I get that. And they do. They do. I mean, you're not going to win 76 yards in the second half. Ain't going to win you too many Mountain West games. Probably
That was the total. 76 total yards.
Yep. Now they did have 27 runs compared to 9 passes, so they sat on the ball. In Kent Riddle's explanation on the postgame show, he thought they were in conservative, run the ball, don't show anything at this point. We're up 3 scores mode in the second half. Fans didn't like hearing that.
He would know.
Fans didn't like hearing that. They said, the way you prevent losing is to keep scoring, and there's some truth to that too. And it's not like they weren't trying to score. I think they did just dial back the playbook a little bit. No reason at this point to start showing anything. But either way, they got the win. Before we get out of here, I got to thank a couple sponsors, and I got one more thing for you, Johnny. But BoiseDentistryCo.com, locations across the Treasure Valley. Check them out. If you're looking for a new dentist, Dr. Minor and his staff do a tremendous job. All the newest technology, full family dentistry. So your kid, your grandma, anybody, check them out. BoiseDentistryCo.com. United Commercial Insurance as well. If you handle the business insurance or you own a business, you're looking to get a lower rate, they can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. They're based here in the Treasure Valley, but they can help you out pretty much anywhere. They make business insurance easy. Quick call could save you hundreds of dollars. 229-8222, United Commercial Insurance. Ridley's Family Markets. I saw Mark Ridley and his son out there playing catch in the parking lot tailgating the other day. Great guy, great spot. Make sure you check out Ridley's Family Markets, 13 locations all across the state of Idaho. The at-home shopping, the Skip app, the home delivery, all that great stuff. Make sure you check out shopridleys.com. The blueandorangestore.com as well. $40 or more on an online order gets you free shipping. Free shipping on any order over $40 or more. And you can also go in and check them out. Pro Image, the Blue and Orange store there on the second floor of Boise Town Square Mall. And again, we're still offering the free $25 gift card for anybody that signs up for a year subscription to Bronco Nation News. In the final 3 minutes or so here, Johnny, let's see what the comments are rolling in here. This guy says, I know the Jayhawks would take any win they can. Hey, we're 3-0. There's no more slander on the Jayhawks at this point.
Receiving votes this week?
We did. I thought we might have a chance at game day. We're 3-0 Kansas hosting 3-0 Duke. But
no,
they didn't pick us.
No.
They didn't pick us. We're one of like 5 Power 5 schools that's never hosted the football version of game day. So I thought we had a shot.
Really?
Yes. And we're hosting Duke, who's 3-0. So I thought maybe you could play the basketball angle of it. But if we can beat Duke, we'll be 4-0. We got Iowa State coming in. They could be ranked. I think they're undefeated still. Who knows? So we'll see. Perry says a win is a win. Brad Bartlett commented on the fan experience. Pay your money, show up, stand in line 30 minutes for a water, and accept mediocrity. No, and that was an issue that maybe you guys will get to on your show as well, Johnny. And a lot of fans, the fan experience took a little bit of a hit. I know that the first game often has some issues, and it sounds like the lines were still pretty long. There were still some issues. We saw midway through the first quarter, Johnny, the entrance that we could see from the press box still had a ton of people in line. There were a lot of people that didn't get into this game to almost the end of the first quarter. You had as I mentioned, the concession.
I will say this though, those folks, BJ, they weren't
in
line before kickoff.
Yes,
this melee started after kickoff. Like if you're not going to get there before the game, then to me, I've less sympathy for you. But I always have sympathy for the person standing in the long concession line, whether it's a beer, a water, a soda, a hot dog. No one should have to wait 40 minutes to stand in line there at all. And I feel bad for Jeremiah Dickey in the school. You know how much money you lose with all those people standing in line there, BJ? I mean, you got to get them up and out. You got to go. And
they tried the new stuff this year with the you could order it from your phone on the app and then go pick it up when it was ready to not have to stand in line. I don't know if anybody did that and how that worked. Jordan says never understands why people pay $5 for a hot dog when there's so much free food in the parking lot. That Blue Collar Club. Jordan was cooking up some wings the other day. I don't know if you made it over there. I don't know if you made it over there, John.
Tailgate? Where is the Blue Collar Club tailgate?
It was right there on the east side. Perfect spot. They had the wings going. I understand they had wings and beverages waiting for you, and you never made it by. So,
dude, I don't know where their tailgate is. I'll swing by on a week from Friday.
You're taking invitations for tailgates, right? We like to make our pregame walk through the parking lot, and Johnny likes. He's a man of the people, wants to say hi to everybody, and
free food is nice too, for sure. I'll swing by the Blue Collar Club one.
Blue Collar Club, they do a good job, Derek and Jordan and on them, and but a lot of people still complaining about the fan experience and all that. I'm sure that'll be a topic going into the next home game next week, Johnny. They'll try to make some changes. I agree. Jeremiah Dickey and company put a lot of work into it. So we'll see what kind of changes they can make for the next home game. But appreciate your time today. Somebody asked Johnny if the coaches are meeting with the media today. Where was that one at? Yes, JT, 1 o'clock. 1 p.m. today, Andy Avalos, and then 1:30 will be Spencer Danielson, 1:45 for Tim Plow. We will stream those live here on the Bronco Nation News social media channels. Johnny, 3 to 6. You and Prater got a lot to talk about today. We'll hear what all the coaches say, and then quick week, another short week, Friday against UTEP. So we appreciate your time as always. For Wednesday night, we'll see you in Winston Venable Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. Another edition of BNN After Dark for subscribers. We appreciate your time, man, today.
Thanks, guys. Good stuff.
Appreciate you. Appreciate Bob Beeler for helping get you on the air as well. Have a great day, everybody. Again, 1 o'clock, the coaches, Andy Avalos, will stream it live here on the Bronco Nation News channels. And then tomorrow at 9 a.m., Jay Tust and I will have our weekly Tuesday appearance as well. So have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Listen to Johnny and Prater, 3 to 6 today, 95.3 FM, 1350 AM. This is Bronco Nation News Live, Bronco Nation News.